Hello and welcome to G Fun Facts Online, the show that digs deep into the science that shapes our world. When you think of a plant, what do you picture? You probably think of a stem, some leaves, maybe a flower or a piece of fruit. We see the part that reaches for the sun, but beneath our feet, in the silent, dark soil, lies a world that is just as complex and vital. A world we are only just beginning to understand. For centuries, our view of this subterranean kingdom has been, quite frankly, a bit shallow. We assumed that a plant's roots were thickest near the surface and then gradually thinned out the deeper you went. It makes sense, right? But what if I told you that this fundamental picture, the one in all the textbooks, is wrong? What if many of the world's plants are hiding a secret from us? A secret that could fundamentally change our understanding of life on Earth and even help us fight climate change? Well, a groundbreaking new discovery has just revealed exactly that. It turns out, a huge number of plants have a secret second root system, extending far deeper into the earth than we ever thought possible. This isn't just a botanical curiosity, it's a paradigm shift. So today, we're going underground to uncover the mystery of the secret second roots. Let's dig in. For the longest time, scientists operated under a simple assumption. Plant roots become sparser with depth. The main action happens in the topsoil, but a multi-institutional team of scientists, armed with an unprecedented amount of data, has turned this long-held belief on its head. Their findings, published in the prestigious journal Nature Communications, show that a significant portion of the world's plants aren't just surviving, they're thriving by developing a second, deeper layer of roots. The researchers have given this a scientific name, of course: bimodality. Bimodality simply means that the plant's root system has two distinct peaks of mass at two different depths. Imagine a graph of root density. Instead of one big lump near the surface that fades away, you see one lump, then a dip, and then another lump, often much, much deeper. The research team, led by ecologist Mingzhen Liu from New York University, didn't just look in one backyard. They analyzed soil samples from 44 incredibly diverse ecosystems all across the globe. We're talking everything from the frigid Alaskan tundra to the lush, humid rainforests of Puerto Rico. And they did something crucial that most previous studies hadn't. They dug deeper, much deeper. They used the extensive database of the National Ecological Observatory Network, or NEON, which collects soil samples from as deep as 6.5 feet, or about 2 meters. Most ecological studies barely scratch the surface, typically going down about a foot. By going deeper, they saw what everyone else had been missing. And what they found was astonishing. Nearly 20% of the ecosystems they studied showed this bimodal, two-peaked rooting pattern. The second, secret root layer was often found more than 3 feet underground. As Mingzhen Liu put it, the current understanding of roots is literally too shallow. We've had what he calls mole vision of this critical underground world, seeing only the very top layer. This discovery is like finding out that a city you thought was just a collection of bungalows actually has a whole second, hidden network of skyscrapers underground. So the big question is why? Why would a plant expend a massive amount of energy to grow and maintain a whole separate root system so far down? Growing roots is costly. It takes sugars and nutrients that the plant could be using to grow taller leaves or more flowers. The existence of this second, deep network tells us that, for these plants, the benefit must outweigh the cost. And the study points to a clear answer. It's a brilliant opportunistic strategy. The researchers found that this deeper layer of roots often lines up perfectly with soil layers that are rich in essential nutrients, like nitrogen. Think of it this way. The shallow soil near the surface is a crowded place. There's a lot of competition from other plants for water and nutrients. It can also dry out quickly during a drought. So some plants have evolved an incredible solution. When resources are scarce up top, they don't just give up. They tap into a hidden larder. a deep reserve of food and water that other plants can't reach. It's an insurance policy. This dual-root system gives these plants incredible resilience. They can weather periods of surface-level stress, like a long drought, by switching to their deep earth supply line. It's a testament to the remarkable adaptability of life, showing us that plants are actively foraging and making strategic decisions in ways we are only now beginning to comprehend. Okay, so plants have a clever survival strategy. That's fascinating for botanists, but what does it mean for the rest of us? Well, this is where the story gets really big. Perhaps the most profound implication of this discovery lies in its potential to reshape our understanding of the global carbon cycle, and, by extension, our fight against climate change. Plants are our greatest allies in this fight. They are the undisputed champions of carbon sequestration. Through photosynthesis, they breathe in carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and lock that carbon away in their biomass, their trunks, leaves, and of course, their roots. When these roots eventually die, the carbon they contain can be stored in the soil, sometimes for centuries. Our current climate models, the complex computer programs that predict future warming, are all based on our old, shallow understanding of roots. They assume most of that carbon storage is happening in the topsoil. But the discovery of extensive, deep root systems changes the entire equation. It means that plants may be actively pumping and storing carbon far deeper underground than any of our models account for. As Lou explains, deeper roots could mean safer and longer-term carbon storage. Why safer? Because the conditions deep in the soil are very different from the surface. It's cooler, there's less oxygen, and the soil is more compacted. These harsh conditions can dramatically slow down the microbial activity that would normally decompose the dead roots and release their carbon back into the atmosphere. So this deep soil could act as a more permanent carbon vault. However, it's not quite that simple, and science is rarely a straightforward story. Co-author Avni Malhotra points out that the outcome could be more complex. In some cases, the presence of these deep roots and the sugary substances they release could actually stimulate the deep soil microbes, waking them up and potentially leading to a loss of carbon that was already stored down there. This opens up a new and incredibly urgent field of research. We need to figure out exactly how these bimodal roots affect the soil's ability to store carbon in the long run. Getting this right is absolutely critical for making accurate climate change predictions and developing effective mitigation strategies. But the story doesn't end with just roots and carbon. These roots don't exist in a vacuum. They are surrounded by a complex and dynamic community of microorganisms. This zone immediately surrounding the plant's roots is known as the rhizosphere. You can think of it as a bustling, microscopic city. It's a hub of activity where bacteria, fungi, and other microbes interact with the plant in a symphony of relationships, some helpful, some competitive. The discovery of deep roots implies the existence of a deep rhizosphere, a whole new layer of life with its own unique microbial communities that we never knew was there. We already know that different parts of a root system host distinct sets of microbes. It's almost certain that the microbes interacting with these deep roots are fundamentally different from their shallow soil cousins. These deep earth microbes would need unique adaptations to survive in low oxygen, nutrient-specific environments. And they could be playing a huge role in how plants access those deep nutrients and how carbon gets stored. For example, some of these plants might be forming symbiotic relationships with deep nitrogen-fixing bacteria, which can convert nitrogen from the air into fertilizer for the plant. This would be an invaluable service in the nutrient-poor, deep soils. Exploring these deep microbial communities is a brand new frontier in science, promising to reveal even more secrets about the hidden life beneath our feet. This single discovery has thrown open the doors to a host of new questions and exciting research possibilities. Scientists are now racing to figure out which specific plant species are most likely to grow these deep roots and what environmental triggers cause them to do so. Is it genetics? Is it a response to drought? Or a combination of both? The practical applications are immense. In agriculture, Imagine if we could breed or engineer crops, like wheat and corn, to grow these deep root systems. We could create varieties that are far more drought-resistant and nutrient-efficient, reducing our reliance on artificial fertilizers and irrigation, which would be a massive win for sustainable farming. For conservation and climate science, a better understanding of deep-root carbon storage could revolutionize our land management practices and, most importantly, dramatically improve the accuracy of our global climate models. The revelation of this secret second root system is such a powerful reminder that our planet still holds profound secrets. It underscores the incredible complexity and ingenuity of the natural world. It shows us that to truly understand and protect the intricate web of life that sustains us all, we need to look deeper. Quite literally, the journey into this new layer of life has just begun, and it promises to yield a richer, more complete picture of the world right under our feet for many years to come. Thanks for joining me on G Fun Facts Online. Keep asking questions and never stop digging for answers.